Okay, everybody, so now it's time to explain the rules and what the competition is and what we're looking for. So, are you guys ready to hear what you're going to do?
Are you guys excited?
I'm a little scared.
Nervous? You should be.
I don't know if Dimitra and I are going to be very popular after this, but it's quite the challenge. It's pretty difficult. So you guys are going to create a surrealist painting. Your canvas size is 18 by 24.
Oh yes, it's my favorite.
That's gonna be a lot easier.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the good news, then I'll give you the bad news.
Ooh. That was the good news? Okay.
Yeah, so the good news is you get to use oil this time.
Oh yes.
Your only two mediums that you're allowed to use are acrylic and then oil, okay? You can bring as many brushes or tools that you want. And you can bring your own paint and your own colors, and you have freedom as far as all of that is concerned.
So cool. Is this too good to be true?
Yeah, more good news. Are you ready? You're gonna love this. All right, you get to pre-draw if you want. You don't have to. Pre-draw if you like your subject matter. Woo! In advance. You can come in with it already drawn on your canvas, or you can do it down the road, you know, in your process. It's up to you, but you may come with it already drawn. You will have
definitely everybody's gonna do that.
Yeah, you will have 4 hours to complete your painting, start to finish.
4 hours.
Okay.
But are you guys gonna cut it down to 3 again, or no? I'm just kidding.
Maybe, maybe not. Okay, and now for the bad news.
Okay.
You are going to choose out of these hats your subject matter randomly on what you're going to paint.
Oh my gosh.
And you have 1 day to create a source. Okay, so this hat is the backgrounds. You will randomly choose one. That's the background you're stuck with. So if you choose background A and you choose to paint something completely different, disqualified. Okay, and then out of here you will choose 3 sidekicks. You know,
what's a sidekick?
It's like an imagery that's like not the most important imagery.
Like a flower.
Okay.
You can
Supporting role.
Supporting roles. Supporting roles. You must incorporate all 3 in your painting somehow.
All 3.
All 3.
All 3 what?
Subject matters.
Oh.
Okay? And then finally you have a subject, a main subject, and you have to paint that main subject. So what you'll be judged on is how well this works as a cohesive surrealist painting. Okay, not just that you incorporated these things. We're going to be looking at, okay, this painting really works, or this painting really doesn't work.
Or how you interpreted the subject matter we give you. So
right.
It's up to your interpretation.
Okay,
too.
so that's what I was going to ask next.
I mean, it
like
has to be what that is. You can't come up with something totally different, but we have to, it can be poetic.
Now, Dimitra is going to tell you the results, because you guys don't know the results of who won, who had the least amount of votes, and what the disadvantage and advantage is.
Okay, so you guys are ready? So the person with the least amount of votes was Dahlia. So should I say the disadvantage then?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dahlia, your disadvantage is we're gonna come up with your subject matter. You're not gonna choose anything from the hats.
Okay, what the heck am I gonna get if you're planning it?
Okay, and then the person with the most votes was DJ Freezy J. So you have the advantage. So congratulations. Your advantage is you get to use whatever materials you want the whole time. So this episode is an elimination round, so you guys will be voting at the end of this episode on somebody who actually gets eliminated from the rest of the show.
Okay, so now they are going to choose from these hats their subject matter. So we'll start with the next runner-up, Miranda, that's you. So come and get a background.
Oh, I got Galaxy for my background.
Oh my god.
Man. Okay, here. You pick 3 of those.
Why are they all stuck together?
Yeah,
it makes it difficult.
It must be sticky.
I got Rainbow. Man,
oh my god.
I win. What the heck? I win. Mona Lisa. Okay.
That's so funny.
Okay. Wine bottle.
All right, good job.
Okay, and then, well, my final subject is saxophone.
No, Mona Lisa is your subject.
Oh, I was like, this is good. All right.
All right, Jake, your turn.
Okay, so does that mean I got third place?
Yeah, third place.
I got a forest.
Okay.
Okay.
And then 3 of these, and read them. So these are your sidekicks.
Man, this is tough. A chair. This is exciting. This is like really cutting edge stuff here. A boat. I got a chair, a boat, and a forest.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. And wings.
Hey, that's
Sorry,
good.
John. I got
And
some
for your
wings.
subject matter.
Okay. A cockatiel.
Oh, cockatoo? Oh no.
Another
It's a big
cockatiel.
white bird, the one you painted that was before. You know what though? I could really visualize that. If
Okay, Daphne, you're next.
there's so many different
Cockatiel
kinds
has
of chairs
wings.
and
Wait, right?
A little boat in the head.
what is it? City?
City.
Table.
Yes, yes.
A vase.
A vase? Wow. Interesting.
So your apartment, basically.
I can see it.
A train.
Okay, this is getting more
That's
and more
difficult. You
realistic.
just put a little tiny train now for your subject.
I can see it.
Charlie Chapman, what is that?
Do you know?
My background is a tree house. A tea set. Okay. A chain.
A chain?
Chains.
Sorry,
Okay.
John.
A calendar.
Calendar.
Calendar. Oh,
Great.
interesting.
And my subject matter is young woman. Okay. Well, that's not that bad.
Open-ended.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 So,
Okay, Kate.
Iceberg.
Oh, interesting. That's cool. I can totally see that actually.
what? Say it.
What is it?
Avocados.
Avocados and icebergs.
Iceberg
I don't like avocados.
Levitating avocados above the iceberg. Violin.
Piano.
Oh, it's a very musical
Good.
seed of the avocado.
What is it?
It's elephant.
This is gonna be something else.
That's surreal.
All right, DJ Freezy J, your turn.
Inside a red barn. You never want to get a red barn. You never want to paint a red barn, y'all.
Inside the barn.
So
New level.
I can make it work.
What did you just grab?
John, just keep in mind, you get what you paid.
Subject
So.
matter. It's
Okay, that's your subject.
Narwhal. I love narwhal. I love that. Monocles. That's an eyeglass. Narwhal with the monocles. Clock is easy to put in there.
What did we get? What was the last one?
Lotus flower and the clock and the eyeglass.
I mean, at
with
least
the
you didn't have to
narwhal
pay-
in the barn.
At least you don't have to paint
got it.
icebergs, avocados, and
I can
elephants.
remember that. I was thinking of everybody else's. Now I can think of mine.
I feel like mine is just gonna be so bad.
It has to be worse than Kate's, honestly.
Okay, so now we are going to go back here for a little bit and we're gonna go through the options and pick something extravagant for Dahlia to paint. And we'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Okay, Dahlia, now come and see what your fate is. Here's your background.
I pick it?
Yeah,
There's one
there's no
choice.
choices, it's just one choice. That's your background.
That's good.
Cathedral.
Okay, we're glad you're happy.
I mean, I was expecting the background to be like a nose or something. What is this?
A nostril.
The inside of a
Giant
nose.
cavernous nostril.
Lightning? Good.
Lightning?
Yeah.
Lightning in a cathedral.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Jeez.
Shoe of choice?
You get to choose a shoe.
That's good if I get to choose it. Yeah. Balloons
Yeah,
is balloons in the background. Yeah, that would
All
be.
right, here's your subject.
Have fun.
A gorilla! Oh my god!
She said a monkey, that's so nice.
I just have some tips for you. Take them or leave them. This is what I would advise. When you are choosing source materials, however you go about doing that, keep in mind you have 4 hours, okay? And there's no way you can just have a half-finished painting. Remember with surrealism, we really need to know what these objects are. It can't just be an abstract mush, otherwise it will not look surreal and it'll be a big fail. So realism is kind of a part of this, and you have a small canvas. Yeah, so keep that in mind as you choose your sources, and good luck. May the force be with you. Okay, Dimitra, are you ready to look at these sources?
Yeah, I can't wait.
I mean, they had some really tough subjects. I don't even know how they're gonna pull this off. Oh my gosh, okay.
So that one was Daphne's.
This is Daphne's.
So I got city first for the background, which is pretty okay. I mean, you can make I've done some cities before, so I felt fine. But basically, Charlie Chaplin, I don't know how to paint that. Like that, I mean, of course I know how to, but I don't know how to make it look good, so.
And she was stuck with, I think honestly, Daphne and Kate had the worst. Yeah,
This is
because
the hardest
she
one.
had Charlie Chaplin, a city, train, a table, and a vase.
A train in a city is already like one of the most
I know,
toughest things to
I
paint.
know.
So
And she kind of made it her style too, so I think that's cool. I like how Charlie Chaplin's kind of peering around the train.
yeah, it was very
So,
creative.
Yeah, we'll see how that looks. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is Kate, poor Kate.
Before I picked up my sources, I was really hoping that it's not going to be a monkey, elephant or frog or like this kind of animals. And when I picked it up, it was elephant. And I'm like, oh my gosh, elephant. It's like I've never painted elephant, and it's not my aesthetically animal that I would paint. And I was thinking, oh my gosh. When I got iceberg, I got excited because it's like it's aesthetically pleasing and it's nice and it's blue and it's my colors that I painting. Then I got avocados. I don't like avocados. I mean, it's nice. I like how it looks, but I don't like how it tastes. So it was funny. Then I got piano and I got violin and then elephant. And I was thinking how the heck I should combine this and to make it look nice. And I was thinking, and then maybe I can paint baby elephant.
She did good with the avocados. I think that makes sense. I like the little.
It makes sense.
No, I meant it makes sense in weirdness, like surrealism.
Yeah,
and she has
added little
flying
kittens.
She added kittens that made the elephant make sense. I think she did a good job. This will be cool.
Very whimsical.
Very whimsical. We'll see if she does it like kind of cartoony or realistic or what she does. Okay, so this is Dino. This definitely looks
More serious.
yeah, and it looks kind of surreal, definitely.
Oh my gosh, when I picked up my sources out of the hat, I was really surprised. Like, I did not understand how to incorporate the things that I drew out of the hat. It was like chains, a calendar, a tea set, like it was just things that did not go together. But I am going to see how it turns out, and I think it'll be good. I have an idea in my head, so I just hope it goes all to plan.
There's a snail on the table.
I'm very excited to see where he takes this. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can pull. He doesn't do portraits normally, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, okay. So this was the one where we told Dahlia what she had to do. She didn't draw, so.
That is just
She did pretty
hilarious.
good, yeah.
It is so funny.
Because of the last round, I had a disadvantage in this one, and they picked everything for me. So I was really nervous. I was really scared, and my hands were all like sweaty, and I was very scared. But then I realized they did it. They picked mine after everyone else drew out of the hats. So I was thinking, okay, I could have had just as much of a chance if I would have picked it out myself. So it wasn't as bad as I was thinking, but I'm still not super happy with what I got. So at first I was very intimidated to think, oh my gosh, like lightning, a cathedral, balloons, a shoe, and a gorilla. Like I didn't know how they would fit together. And it kind of logically still doesn't make sense.
She turned it into a birthday party.
It's a birthday party for the gorilla in the church.
She likes fancy shoes.
Yeah. It's a very strange gorilla.
I think she did a good job.
It's an alternative gorilla.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
So I think this one's Miranda's. She had Mona Lisa.
Honestly, it was hard to kind of judge exactly how I felt just because everyone else was very excited, and so of course I felt excited because I'm like, oh, these are good sources. I got what did I get? The first one I got was like galaxy and rainbow and saxophone. Anyway, I got a bunch of stuff, but the galaxy and the rainbow everyone was very excited about, and I'm like, oh sweet, I got really good, really great elements. And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, wait a second, I don't paint either of those things. And I realized the excitement was because it was familiar, and I'm like, oh, that's what Ellie paints.
She did an awesome job, and I love the long-legged Mona Lisa.
Yes,
like
so creative. Like I had a completely different picture in my head of what she would do, but this is really cool.
I hope she brings out the galaxy more. Yeah, that's super cool. And this is John's.
Oh, very interesting.
Yesterday when I picked up the sources out of the hat, I immediately started putting those together and thinking of various paintings that could come from it. I have taken these notes here and put them together in various little formats here. So with the Apple Pencil, you are able to move your ideas around, make them large. And what I was trying to do was create a story that's pleasing to the eye.
Well, his theme is more is more.
Ghosty barn.
Ghosty barn, monocle man.
What else did he have? I feel like, did he have everything?
What do you think
he's
of the
supposed to have?
composition? You think that composition works?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. We'll see.
Okay. That's really cool.
Surfing cockatiel on a yacht.
When I picked up my sources out of the hats, first I picked up forests, right? So I was like a little bit. I was like, okay, it could be worse. I've never painted a forest before. We'll see how it goes. I just have to stick to a simple forest, right? And then I picked up my knickknacks, which were a boat. Let's see, I have them right here. I got a boat, I got wings, and I got a chair. So I was like, how the heck am I gonna put these things together? That's like a dumb combination. But the last thing I got was a cockatiel. And as soon as I picked out cockatiel, I was like, I have no clue what I'm gonna do with this. This is like, it's impossible.
Yeah, so we added the ocean.
I like the flying chairs, and he's got Kandinsky chairs. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, really
That's
cool.
great.
I like how this is blurry and then this one's very crisp.
I like how the wings kind of echo the cockatiel
super cool.
crown. I don't know about that boat. We'll see if he can pull that off.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be very realistic.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be realistic. Wow, they did good, didn't they?
Super
I mean,
cool.
when they were drawing the things, I was like, how in the world are they gonna do this? This is gonna be so cheesy and terrible.
Yeah.
But I think,
I'm excited to see these.
yeah, they could be really cool. You never know, it might even like help them take a little turn in their in their style. We'll see what happens. Okay, so they are about to start their paintings now. We are gonna give them 2 hours to do their sort of underpainting. They're allowed to paint in either acrylic or oil or a mixture of both, meaning first with acrylic and then they'll finish with oil. Most of them have their drawings already drawn on there, which will save them some time. And I think Miranda didn't get hers drawn, so she's kind of dealing with a blank white canvas. So that's kind of a lot of pressure. So she's a pretty good drawer and pretty fast, so she'll probably pull it off. So they have total freedom to paint in either of those mediums right now, but my advice, if you want to save time and you want to be able to put really great oil final touches, my advice would be to try to do as much as they possibly can with acrylic. That would be my advice. Dino told me he's going to do his all in oil from start to finish, and we'll see what happens.
Your 2 hours starts now.
All right, how do you think it's going? You having fun with the city?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I like the city. I think it's going pretty good, but I don't really know what I'm going to do with this area.
So Jake, are you concerned about having all that white on there still?
No.
No? You don't think you should kill the white?
I'm about to with all this black because it's so much dark. I was just trying to get all the lighter colors in. Basically, I mostly did. Now I'm just working light to dark with the transparency. So I'm about to do like all the darks. Like all that's left is mostly darks except for like on the wings there.
If it were me and you wanted it to go quicker, I would just do a wash over all the white, kill all the white and the bird and everything. Since it's acrylic, it'll dry, and then you can pile on the right colors and the right values. But otherwise, you're gonna be like going around and having to be careful, and it's good to get a dark base first.
Yeah.
Dark enough that you can still see your drawing. I mean, light enough that you can still see your drawing, but dark enough that you get rid of that white. So, your legs are out of proportion.
I would hope so. I think I may have made the head a little bit too big, but I think I can trim it
No,
down.
your knees are in the middle and they're not in the middle. You need less thigh, it's foreshortened, and so the thighs are gonna be shorter.
Well,
You have your knees in the middle.
It goes all the way down here.
Well, you can trust me or you can do it your way.
I'm just letting you know. I'm just informing you.
I know, but the knee is right in the middle, right in the middle. And that's not how it is. It's supposed to be foreshortened. So on your source, it's 3/4 the way up. It's not half and half.
Well, there's a whole bottom section.
Okay, well, I gave you the information. Okay, on the rainbow, do you want to know a trick?
Yeah, I do.
What you want to do is don't put the colors in. Just do a transparent faded white that's super blended and blends in with the background like a mist. And you just leave that. And then when you go to oil, you glaze. You just glaze in the things and then you kind of rub it out so it stains the white.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
So make sure your white is transparent. So now that you put those colors, I don't know what, you'll have to go blue over it or something. Okay, but trust me, your legs are off.
Well, this leg is half and half. This one.
So if you go from there to where the foot would be.
No, I'm talking about this leg, Ellie, not that one.
Okay, but Miranda, do you want to be right or do you want to
I'm talking about this leg.
Ellie, she wants to be right.
Yeah.
It's still to the elbow.
I think we're measuring differently. I'm measuring from there to the knee, which is exactly to the crotch.
Okay, but the foot, like you have them chopped off, but in there you don't. You have them continuing to go. So you're measuring from here on your drawing, right? But you're measuring from here on your source. So you can't mix apples and oranges.
Okay, I guess I see what you're saying.
Miranda, just figure it out. I'm usually right about stuff.
Okay, but I thought the point of this is just to like check in on me and not like critique everything that I'm doing.
Well, okay, note to self, I will leave you alone. I will not tell you any more tips. So what made you decide to paint a pink gorilla?
Okay, I wanted to do it purple because I thought that it would be, I don't know, these colors are just
kind of boring, like gray.
Yeah, and I didn't really have all those colors, and it makes it a little bit more surreal, and it just kind of came naturally with my darks. And
where'd you get the idea from that it's his birthday?
Well,
First birthday.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to find a hat, and then that was the only one that I liked. So, but
Was hat one of your objects?
Oh, and neither was a cake. I was thinking, how does a balloon and a cathedral and a monkey and a shoe? They just didn't make sense. So I was thinking about it, and balloons are always celebrating. So then I just thought, okay, if he's celebrating and it's a cathedral, it could be more like a party or whatever. But then and then opening a shoe. So I just thought about that like that.
Yeah, it's cool. I think you're doing a good job. So how's it going, Dino?
Well, it's obviously in the dark, dingy, ugly stage.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you have to start somewhere. I mean, you have to make it ugly before you make it pretty. So.
Yeah, I agree. Are you gonna make it your darks darker?
Yeah, I was sort of working on the tree a little bit, like adding some greens in there. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely make things darker, and I need to go in with small brushes and fix that. That was sort of just, I don't know, quick and just sort of, I was just trying to get paint on the canvas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
I don't really enjoy the first layer of my painting.
No, ever?
But, I mean, yeah, no, usually I do. But with this I usually do thin to thick, but for this I'm doing the rub out. I was doing the rub out, now I'm putting the darks on top. But I mean, it's okay. I'll like it later a lot more when I start adding opaques. But,
okay.
Yeah.
So Kate, what do you think?
It's a little bit on a messy, ugly stage, but I kind of maybe it doesn't look as good now, but I know how I will work, so
yeah.
I kind of like it.
Yeah. Yeah, are you worried about how much time you have to get it looking good?
I don't think about time.
I would advise you did the elephant. I think the elephant's great. You kind of blocked in darks and then you rubbed it out. I would do that for everything. I think that you're gonna run into time trouble, kind of like what I was telling Jake, unless you kill the white. Even if you just glaze a thin layer over it and kind of pull out, it'll go faster. Are you having fun, or it's so different than how you normally paint?
Yeah, it's really different, but it's super fun. I think it's once in a while, it's even healthy, to go out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And try something crazy.
That's good. You got far. Sheesh.
I got a vision for it.
You do?
I like your colors.
Well, are you liking your painting, John?
Yes, I sure am.
I think it looks, oh, you put a top hat on your monocle guy.
I'm gonna.
What made you
straighten
decide to
this,
put a top hat?
Well, I thought it's time to get fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite surrealist painters, Rene Magritte, does a lot of top hat individuals.
That's it. Brushes down. All right, you guys, you're all done for this round. You'll come back next session and you'll have 2 more hours to paint, and then they gotta be finished. All right, good job.
Good job, everybody.
Hello everyone. Yes, I feel good today. Feeling good about my pictures. I make them all the time, but this one is different. It's a different kind. I have only a small time to paint, and I have to put much time together, a lot of objects. More is more. You get your colors, you make sure you put it down in a stack. Stack it. It's colder outside. It's a little bit nice. I like that.
I feel happy that I got really far today, especially since I did it only in oils, of course. I mean, if I have a choice, of course I'm gonna just choose to do just oil. I feel very happy that I came this far today, and especially with oil. I was having a lot of trouble painting the lady, and that was just really difficult. I was having a really hard time with that. But at the end, I sort of, I got somewhere like where I was happy with like stopping. And I really like the clouds. I'm really happy that I got those in. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to, you know, work more on the grass and the tree and definitely the girl. But yeah, I'm overall pretty happy with my progress today.
I feel really good about my painting because I was expecting it to be much more difficult, but it kind of just flowed really nicely. The only thing about it is that it was a little bit more loose, and I was thinking I would make it more realistic, but I still have more to go in oils. So I'm probably going to make it a little bit more realistic tomorrow. I still feel like it could win and I could have an advantage with my the way that I made it all work. And I heard my mom saying that it's her favorite, so that's really good.
I think it went well. I have a feeling it's going to go a lot quicker and it's going to look a lot better as soon as I get oils on it. That's usually what happens. I had a little confrontation with Ellie about the legs, but I think they look fine. In the face, it looks like Mona Lisa. There's the saxophone. I'll get the details in there. So I actually didn't change the length of the legs at all. I think she just thought that the floor was here, and so she was just confused about the source, which is what I was trying to explain to her, but it's fine. So, you know, the legs stopped here and the knees stayed in the same place, and I think it looks great.
So I'm feeling pretty interesting about my painting, and I think it's the craziest painting so far I have done. To be honest, guys, I've never painted elephants and avocados. I felt so tight in my left brain. So, and as soon as I started to use my hands, and like as you see, I felt more free and more in my right brain.
Well, I think it looks pretty good, but I mean, kind of what I was going for is to get it really bright in this layer, and then tomorrow or later when I work on it, I will make it more like realism, like more realistic tones, like more browns and neutral colors. The train needs a lot of work, and I want to make the city part like more cool, more like abstract. But I think it went pretty good. I got into it at the end with the face, adding all the details and this scene here. It wasn't as hard as I thought. I was thinking, I don't know, I was not excited about painting this guy. Like, I barely knew who he was, and I don't know. It felt like a really weird thing to paint for me. But I got into it. I think it went fine.
When I first started painting my birdie, it gave me a good feeling. It was hard, but I like challenge. The challenge, it fulfills the soul. It needs a lot of work, yes, but you know, it's just in acrylic. It's not the finished yet. You know, when I go back out there, I'm going to give it my all. I will pour my soul into it. You guys will see it. I promise that.
I am really confused. I don't know what people are doing, why I can't go do my work. I'm very anxious to go inside, and I have to sit outside here, but the weather is nice.
I didn't like Dimitra's smile. I know they did something terrible to our paintings, or maybe they switched them around, or maybe they painted them over, or
They
maybe
gave us different sources. They probably gave us like
Different
other
sources.
sources.
Maybe they like cut a hole in the paintings and we have to patch it.
Hey everybody, so here we are at part 2 where these artists are going to finish their paintings. Again, they only have 2 hours to complete their paintings and have something that looks good. And apparently Nathaniel, our cameraman who likes to do monkey business, has been inspired lately by mustaches, and I think he couldn't help himself but come in here and have his own self-imposed collaboration going on. So I think some of the artists have enjoyed what he's done and some of them have not. And I just found out too that it is a Sakura oil marker, which we know
very hard to cover up.
Out.
I think even with layers of oil, it will still come through.
So that's,
we'll see what happens.
you know, they'll have to find a way to embrace the change, I guess. Anyway, we'll see what happens. So this should be really exciting. I think most of the artists are gonna work in oil today to finish their paintings. So that means some transparent glazing, getting the warm and cool to work, and then those final details. My advice to you guys is choose at least one object that you really want to render out very realistic, because surrealism only really works if you do have some element of realism in there. So that's really important, and given the time constraints, that's pretty difficult. So we'll see if they can pull it off.
Okay, so you guys have 2 hours starting now.
All right, get going. So I think right now these artists are not quite feeling the pressure. I think generally everybody's very chill and taking their time, and if I were them, I would paint at 3 candy speed with a lot more urgency, and I would be moving my body fast. I would be making quick decisions. I would, you know, it is not easy to pull off realism in this short period of time, and I think a lot of them need some work, and I think they should be painting a lot. I hear a lot of, you know, chit chat going on and games, and they're having fun, which is great, but in the end, you know, we're gonna judge these, and one person, you know, will not be able to continue. So I would take it more serious if I was them.
How do you feel about your mustache?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It's very easy to get off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Some people have been a little bit too dramatic about that because it's very, very easy to get off.
So I've never seen a bird with a mustache. That's quite interesting.
I think it looks really good. I think it's actually going to start setting a trend, the mustaches. It's going to be revolutionary, really. This is something that society's been missing for a long time.
I think it's hilarious that Nathaniel did that to their paintings and put those mustaches on. I just love that guy. He is just always doing something really funny. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Freezy in that they're super quirky and they do these like super funny things. They have just such a great, unique sense of humor. Some of them should keep the mustaches and, you know, try to make it work, but it's fun to see, you know, I think it's important to know how to fix a painting when there's like a mistake on there, and, you know, sometimes I get something out of proportion and something's not quite right, and you got to be able to move things in an efficient way. I think most artists just want to put white over the whole thing, wait for it to dry and start over, and, you know, that's not the way to do it.
How much time did you say we have?
1 hour.
Color's not matching.
Move to other areas instead of finishing one thing at a time. But I mean, everything you added on the bird looks good. I would just try to add some stuff to the boat and maybe use a straight edge for the boat, because that has to be realistic.
So what I would say is the part that's making it more difficult for you is the lack of darks. So what you want to do now is get a big brush and glaze wherever you didn't put opaque. So, and there's acrylic. So this area here needs to be a lot darker.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Back in here. So I would glaze, you could glaze super fast. I think this city looks excellent and it's done. I think this city could use, maybe it's just this building. Like, I don't get these edges. Like, this stands out to me. So maybe just tweak that. I think you need more marks in there. So like, even though they're not in your source, I would add just a few more squirrely marks in there. I think your smokestack looks great. I think that, you know, maybe fade this edge like here, so that like this is nice and sharp. See how it wobbles? Mm-hmm. And then like maybe fade it there. I'm really partial to Daphne's. Honestly, it was like my least favorite subject matter. And like, I have zero connection to Charlie Chaplin, and you know, it's just like, ugh. But I think she's doing an incredible job. And of all the paintings, that's probably the one I would actually want to live with the most. I think she's doing a fantastic job with the portrait and mixing her own style into there while still maintaining that surrealism.
So should this be dark like that, or you just are talking about the edges?
I just think this one building, the contour of that building is like, I can't figure it out. It looks like it needs to be filled in here with like marks or dark or something. I like this. I think how you did that is great and how it goes into his hat. I think his mustache, their edges could be softer. Same with the eyebrows. His eyebrows are a little too harsh on the edges, at least this one. And especially the top, it's like kind of too simple. Same with the mustache and maybe even the lips. Like some of the darks, you gotta like soften a bit, the edges and the tie. Like this is kind of harsh here.
I think everyone's actually doing a really good job, and I was surprised how creative their sources were and how they interpreted what they pulled from the hat, so that was really cool to see. But today, they're finishing their paintings in oil, and I'm a little worried about a few of the people. Especially, I'm worried about Jake. He has to do this yacht, and it's really, like, he can't tell what it is right now, and he has to do all these details, and so I don't know. He hasn't even started it yet, so. And then I'm worried about Miranda, because she has a big, like, just empty space on her canvas, and she has a lot of details to fill in, so. I don't know, we'll see what happens. She has surprised us in the past, so maybe she'll pull it off.
I think that you should prioritize the blue sky a little bit really fast and because it'll calibrate your values.
Yeah,
and until you put that in there, it's gonna have this, it's gonna affect, the dinginess of it all will affect how you paint.
Yeah.
So right now you're concentrating on details, I get that, but I would really quick with big brushes, get the values right, get this in, get your rainbow, then you can go back and spend maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes getting details. So Dahlia, I think your ape or your gorilla looks fantastic. I think when you get the shiny parts on the balloons, that'll look good, the highlights. Only because I've done lightning a bunch in the past, you need a thinner, wispier script brush to pull that off. The lines are a little thick. And I think it has to be darker, a little bit darker up to the edge. Maybe get a really tiny script brush and get like some faded, like cool, like use cools. And then radiant white for, it's like if these whites are the same as these whites, it's not gonna look like it's glowing. So I would fade the cathedral more like this.
What should I focus on the most right now, though?
I think the gorilla's done. I mean, I know you could probably, tinker with it forever. I think the highlights on the balloons are important. I think the lightning is kind of important to try to get that a little better.
Dahlia actually is really surprising me. She seems to be enjoying her painting, especially compared to last time. And I think she's doing a really good job, and her gorilla looks realistic. I think she's just gonna do great, and she has an hour left, so I think it's gonna turn out really good.
So I think I might need to work on the calendar.
The calendars are not evident. Chains are good. I wouldn't mess around with those.
Okay.
Her face is good.
I need to work on her hair. I want to make her hair really beautiful.
I think the tea set is lacking.
Yeah, I need to work on this a little bit with tiny brushes and stuff.
Yeah, and maybe like a few, I don't know, you're doing good. Is Freezy getting upset with you, Kate?
Yes.
No, I'm telling you politely, please stop bumping the easel. If you take your elbow off there.
Okay, so Kate, I think it's going pretty good. Don't overwork it and put too many of these like extra doodads in there. What I would try to do right now is concentrate on getting things as realistic as you can. I think that this is really good. That's a great area, it's done. Maybe like, see how this line kind of comes over and takes over that? I would, whether you have to scrape it off or what, I would get rid of that. I think this line takes over also and kind of is distracting. I think Kate's doing a great job. She had one of the most difficult subject matter for sure. And I think that she's doing a really good job and making all those things work, and we'll see how it turns out, but I think she's doing a really good job. You could probably at least work on this violin, getting it a little more realistic. You could probably focus on getting this area a little more realistic. So I would try to work on realism. I feel like this is pretty realistic. This is pretty realistic. This part of the piano is very realistic. I think that this violates the cat some. So I would work on that. Forget that can fade back, but this one has to be realistic, and I would get this realistic. I shouldn't say this, he's gonna be really mad when he watches this, but I'm not really big on John's painting right now. Like I think that it looks kind of cartoony and more whimsical than surreal, but you know, he could surprise me and he could pull it off as well. Okay, I think that overall it's really good and interesting, except I think you gotta have at least one thing that is realistic. And if it were me, I would not touch anything else, leave it all alone, it's all finished and done, except for the guy. So if his face at least was very realistic, just like the photo, then it's believable as surrealism. Otherwise, it'll just seem like a whimsical cartoon. I love how this is too, like, so I would, you know, foreshorten the top hat so it goes back. I would readjust his face to make it as realistic as possible. And if you get him realistic, then this is like his world that's in his head, and now it'll be surreal.
So DJ Freezy J is doing really good. I think he's just in his comfort zone right now, and he's so used to painting this style already, so I think this is very easy for him. But he's not so great at doing realism, so I don't know what will happen, and I think his narwhals need a lot of work. And the barn, you can't tell it's a barn, so.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. All done. No painting. Dino, are you painting?
No, I was cleaning my brush.
All right.
How do you guys feel?
Oh, man.
Who's sweaty?
My heart, I feel like I just ran a mile.
How do you guys feel? Do you feel proud of yourselves for what you accomplished in such a short period of time?
I need to step back, yeah.
Jake, besides your own, whose is your favorite?
Probably Daphne's. I feel pretty good about my painting. I think it's really whimsical. It's fun. I feel like it has like a lot of emotion. The bird. I like how Nathaniel added the mustache. And when we came back and I saw the mustache, I was actually happy about it. I was like, man, I think mustaches are a really good touch. You know, they're coming back in style. This was my first time touching oil paint in a while, and oil paint, and just the way that it blends together, you know, the way that you can apply it, it's so much fun. I had a lot of fun painting this. You know, I wish I would have been able to listen to music. That would have been great, getting into my right brain.
Dahlia, besides yours, whose is your favorite?
Kate's.
Kate's?
Yeah, I really like
Kate,
Kate's.
what about you?
I like Jake's.
Jake's?
I feel really good about my painting, and it was very stressful with the time because I had a lot to do with the balloons and kind of here with the shoe and the cake and the table and the checkerboard, but then you have to really prioritize what is super important. But the challenge overall is pretty difficult because you would think that like, oh, 4 or 5 hours, that's kind of enough time. But because it's so realistic, you have to really try to get certain things very detailed.
So what I can say that I'm pretty happy with my outcome, because maybe about in the middle I felt so stressful that I don't have enough time, and I was just like so nervous. And then towards the end I got so hungry and I couldn't concentrate on my painting, and my hands were shaking and I was shaking easel, and John, he was like, Kate, like, can you don't shake easel?
Dino?
I like Dahlia's a lot, and also
Daphne's.
That's 3 votes for me.
Oh man, I started off very, very, very irritated and sad and just frustrated that there was mustaches all over my painting. Oh my God, you put a mustache on her? It took me forever to, oh my gosh. Dimitra, guys, what the heck?
We didn't do it. We didn't do it.
Nathaniel, I don't think it's funny at all. This is really irritating. It took me forever to get her face even looking just a tiny bit good, and now it looks terrible, and I'm gonna have to cover it up with a lot of paint. But I pulled through, and I really pushed myself, and I was trying to work as hard as I could and as best as I could, and I really went through a hard time painting it, and I went through a lot of internal breakdowns, and I just wanted to quit, but I'm very glad I didn't. I just pushed through, and I stayed positive.
Breezy, what about you?
Nobody likes mine at all. I choose Dahlia's.
That's 4 votes for me. Okay.
But I want Dino's.
I feel pretty good about my painting. I think it turned out pretty good. I wanted to mellow the color a little bit, which I kind of did. But I think I added more of these lines here, and I think that helped it. And I made the city more stand out, so I felt good about the work that I did.
I'm not super impressed with the outcome. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm super impressed because this face is literally the size of my thumb, and up close, it looks amazing. She just looks super beautiful. There's one brush stroke I don't quite like, but I think I did awesome on the face, and I think that's the part that needed the most details.
Okay, so I think you guys did awesome. You had a lot of difficulties. This was a really difficult challenge, and I'm actually super surprised, honestly. When you guys first pulled out what you were gonna paint out of the hat, I was thinking, I don't know if this is gonna work, but you guys did great. You really did.
So I think everybody was talking a lot and creating a lot of distractions, but I felt pretty focused just getting my painting done, and I even finished a little early. I wasn't really pressed for time very much.
I think I got a chance to win because it's a very fun contest. You got a lot of different personality, you got a lot of different type of colors, paintings going on, and I like to be right in the middle of all of that. And we always say, will the best man win, or the best person win.
Anyway, we will judge these pieces with a guest critiquer. I guess you find out in a month who is going to be eliminated. One of you will not be in the next episode.
You guys did really good, and even though I was pushing you and putting the pressure on, I just wanted you guys to paint faster. So that was my only intention, and I'm glad that you guys all pulled it off at the end. And Miranda, I was really worried about your painting, but now I think it looks really good, and you got the last details in there, and everyone just did a really good job. And I know with more time they would look even better, but that's the way it goes. Next time we see you, one of you will be eliminated, sadly. So after this, 6 of you will be one step closer to $10,000.
Do we need to pay taxes from this $10,000?
Yes.
Yes, Kate. It's not tax-free. Hey everybody, so we are here now to critique this artwork in this section, and we have a special guest with us. We have invited our dear friend Barbara McCarroll, who is going to come and help us critique this artwork. Barbara, do you want to come in here? Okay, so this is Barbara. I have known Barbara for at least 10 years now, maybe a little longer, and we met very interestingly. So Barbara is actually an art collector, and that's how I met her. She bought a piece of John and I's artwork, and we met her to deliver the artwork, and we started talking. I found out she was Greek, she found out I was Greek, and when two Greeks meet, they fall in love. That's just what happens. Then she started painting, and now she is an artist, and she stopped buying our art. And then a very interesting part of this story is about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, Barbara invited us to come up to Flagstaff where they were living in Arizona. And when we went up there, just before we went up there, she sent a picture to me of her grandson that happens to be Dimitra's age. And I get this picture on my phone of this really good looking guy, and I happened to show it to Dimitra on the spot, and she went, oh, who is that? And I said, oh, that's Barbara's grandson. He's gonna be in Flagstaff, you'll probably meet him. And she's like, she got all in a dither. So we go up to Flagstaff, and that is where Dimitra and Jake met for the very first time. So yes, they fell in love, and she is Jake's grandma.
And family.
We're family, yes. Anyway, so we have told Barbara that she absolutely cannot be biased towards her grandson's painting. We will all know if she's being biased and being, you know, that typical grandma who cannot be objective. So we will see how well she does. So what we told these artists in this competition, you know, they're competing, right? And the winner of the whole year will get $10,000. So it's a pretty decent prize. And somebody from this round will be eliminated. But you guys at home are the ones that get to decide who's the winner and who's the loser. So
it's a big deal.
Big stakes. Okay, so what do you guys think? Barbara, which piece sort of stands out to you? What is your impression of these pieces? What do you see?
Well, surrealism is one of my favorite art.
I know, that's why we invited you. We invited you for that reason.
And I do know each one of the artists, and I can kind of tell who.
You figured out who's who?
Yeah. However, because some of them stuck really close to the strict definition of surrealism, there were a few that I couldn't figure out that were very different. I went, immediately when I saw them, I went right to this painting here.
Of course.
And I know whose that is, by the way, because I know the person so well. And I love it. I mean, the colors is just great, and the whimsical. You know, when I look at surrealism, one of the things that I love, Magritte is one of my favorites, with the bowler and the green apple, you know, and all the different things that he used to do, things flying around. That's, I think, why I was transported to this particular artist's painting, and I love it. I just love it. As far as, and there's some here that, you know, the composition's great.
Which ones? Which ones have good composition to you?
Well, this one is a little out of the surrealistic composition, but it has the surrealism, and I like the composition. I know who the artist is on that one as well. One of my favorite surrealistic artists over here. This one, I like the composition. I feel it's balanced, but it's dark to me. But it's very balanced, and it's very...
You mean dark in value, or dark as in the theme is dark?
It's very dark in value, and I think it has a darker theme to it. And however, it's very surreal.
Okay, so Barb, for you to kind of figure out why there's all these strange imagery all together, what we did is we had 3 hats. One hat had backgrounds, one hat had sort of doodads to add sidekicks, and one had a main subject. So Dahlia was the one that was lost last time, so she had a disadvantage. John won, so he had an advantage. His advantage was he could use any materials he wanted, but he did not capitalize on that, and he used the same old materials everybody else did. He could have collaged, he could have done all kinds of things, and I don't know, for whatever reason he chose not to. Dahlia, me and Dimitra picked her subject matter, so we gave her gorilla, balloons, cathedral, and shoe of her choice, and lightning. Miranda had like Mona Lisa, rainbow, saxophone, wine bottle, and galaxy. So, you know, Jake had boat, cockatiel, forest, wings, and chair. So they had to come up with something. So as you can see, Kate had elephant, avocado, piano, violin, and iceberg. John had time, narwhale. His background was the inside of a barn. His subject matter was narwhale.
He had monocles.
Monocle.
And a lotus flower.
And a lotus flower.
I don't see the lotus flower.
It's on the guy's lapel in the pictures that repeats.
See, that's what John does so well, is
he hides things.
He hides things, and they're so much fun.
Okay, so we know you give Jake first place. So who gets second place?
Well,
and then tell us who you think gets last place.
I love the gorilla. I think that was fun.
So that's second place?
Second place.
Okay, last place?
Yeah. Last place or third place?
Last place.
Last place. I actually have 3 least favorites. Can I say who the 3 least favorites
All
are?
right.
This, and this are my 3 least favorites.
Okay, so
for different reasons.
So elephant, the Alice in a Wonderland one, and the Mona Lisa are your 3 least favorites. Okay, fair enough.
I think they're all excellent compositions and really well done. How long did they have to do it?
4 hours.
4 hours. So that's a short amount of time. Is this one all acrylic, or is it oil?
No, it's all oil.
It's all oil. Okay. So I think everybody did a really great job at, superb artists that they're really growing. I think this was a fun challenge that you gave to them, the way that you did it. And by the way, after watching the first episode of Outstanding Artist, I have to just say it's the only thing on TV that Ron and I really enjoy watching. It's the best thing out there. So keep doing more. And I think Hollywood's missing out. I really do.
Okay, so Dimitra, how about you? I would love to know what you're thinking. And of course, you got to see these come to life from start to finish. And so what are your thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts on all these paintings. Right now, as they stand, my favorites are Dahlia's Gorilla and Daphne's Charlie Chaplin. I think they did a really great job with what they were given.
So you're not biased to Jake then?
No, I'm being objective right now. So, I mean, Dahlia's, she didn't even have the choice of pulling from the hat. We gave her that, and I think she did a great job.
And we did our best to make it super ridiculous.
I didn't think she would take it that well, and she took it really well.
Yeah, I agree.
And then when Daphne pulled those things out of the hat, I didn't think, I thought that's going to be a really bad painting.
A city, a train, Charlie Chaplin, a
table,
vase, and a table.
Yeah, and she did a really good job. But probably if I just to choose one, I'm probably going to go with Dahlia. Miranda, I'm slightly disappointed because her source was so cool, and when she went to paint it, she was really slow. I don't think she used her time well, and she didn't get those bright colors, and just the way she went about the painting was really time consuming, and I don't know, I just know she could do better. Dino, I think, overall it's a really dark piece, and he was really stubborn about doing the whole thing in oil, and I noticed he probably just didn't know this, but when he drew it with pen and then he put the first glaze of oil, the turpentine just kind of made all the ink ran, and I think he was just fighting the black the whole time, and so that's why it turned out so dark. Freezy J, it's really cool, but I think that it's not quite surreal, it's more whimsical, and it's not realistic. So the whole point of surrealism is you have to have some elements of realism and for it to just not really make sense, but it's kind of an abstract piece in my opinion. So for Kate's painting, I'm just also kind of disappointed. I wish the source she made was really cool, and it was so bright and light, and the iceberg to me doesn't really look like an iceberg, it looks just like a mountain that's blue, and I think she also went a little too abstract and didn't, I don't know, she wanted to put her style into it and didn't stick to just trying surrealism. So, I mean, it's still a really great piece, and I think it works. So for Jake's painting, I think that he just needed to have more time with it and just spend more time on the details and just refining everything. So if he could just put one more layer of refinement, then it would probably end up being one of my favorites. Like Barb said, the colors are really bright, and on some of the other paintings, it's just this one really does glow. Also the yacht, I was worried about his yacht under the feet, and it looks like a boat, so I'm glad that he made it look like a yacht.
Did you know it was a yacht?
I would have said it's a yacht.
So that's my critique. I think Dahlia's is probably my favorite.
Okay, so you guys have pretty much said it all. I agree with mostly what you guys said, and so only things I would add to that is I feel like For John, for Freezy J, he doesn't have that element of realism in there. If just one of his objects was realistic, it would set that one object apart as a part of our world that we can view into that world. And that is the importance of surrealism, is we are sort of a voyeur into another realm or another world, but you have to have a door. You have to have something that's very realistic that can take you there. And that's what that's missing. Although, of course, his imagination and, you know, like, he's so unique in that. It's a very lovable piece, but it is missing that. And I think that's the problem too with Kate's. Although you start to get it with the avocados, I feel like the avocados and the keyboard are pretty realistic. If only that elephant or a kitten or some sort of living object was realistic, so we could see her world through that elephant's eyes or the kitten's eyes.
And I just feel like that drip is just, intrusive.
I think that's something that she did at the last minute. And it looked better before that. But she had probably one of the most difficult subject matters. I don't know, I think she did great considering the challenge that she had. So now, as far as Dino, I think that if he was just able to go a little bit lighter and brighter with highlights, I think it could be a fantastic piece. I like it, even though he, you know, had this kind of oddball subject matter. Like the calendars on a chain was great because like sometimes we feel like that, and it really does have a story that you can kind of relate to. And I just think that, yeah, it's a little bit on the dingy side, and lighter and brighter would make that a really outstanding piece. And I think he achieved a good level of realism for the amount of time that he had. So
there are a lot of little details in there.
A lot of little details. He did great on a tiny face.
Yeah, if his colors were like John's colors, you know, John's masterful with color, and if
or like Dahlia's even.
Or Dahlia's, yeah, that would have enhanced it, in my opinion. But great detail, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, and he is very stubborn about acrylic. Okay, so Dahlia, I agree, fantastic. She did great. I think she had a fantastic attitude. I kind of gave her some tips on the lightning and the cathedral. She totally took them to heart, and she applied them. And I feel like she did great. You know, with the time constraints, it came out really well. I think she rendered the gorilla's face fantastic, and the belly. And I love the story she created. I think that that was really, really, you know, smart of her to sort of create this birthday party and this theme around those random objects that she got. So I don't know, she did great. I think I agree with you guys. As far as Miranda, I feel, yep, she ran out of time. I think that the mustaches flying really make the piece. If it wasn't for those flying mustaches, I don't know that it would really look that surreal. And I think it's important that the Mona Lisa looks like the Mona Lisa. It's hard for us to know because we watched it evolve if it does or doesn't. So I'm happy to hear from you, Barb, that you thought it did look like Mona Lisa. And honestly, you know, Nathaniel was the one that came up with the flying mustaches. So that was smart of her to keep his idea in there and make it work. So
yeah, that makes it for sure.
Did you know that Nathaniel halfway through, while they weren't watching, came and put mustaches on everybody?
Everyone painted them out except for Jake and
Miranda.
I love it, yeah, that's great.
So they came back and they had to fix their piece. And then Jake's, I think he did really well on the bird. Like the eye is very realistic, the colors and the feathers, that little comb and everything. To me, the bird looks pretty realistic. I think that's what he put the most time into. I think the chairs definitely lost attention. So they, you know, you have to kind of look at the source to know that they're chairs with wings necessarily. They're not real obvious. Same with the boat, and I think that's just he ran out of time to really render everything out. But he did a good job too of creating this surreal and whimsical both with very strange objects. Daphne's I'm really impressed with because that is extremely weird subject matter.
Yeah.
And I never thought in a million years I would like that painting, and it's actually one of my favorites.
Yeah,
You would hang that up.
Yeah, I think I love the colors she chose. I love the expression on Charlie Chaplin's face. I think it's really, really a well done piece. So
which one's your favorite?
Well, like you guys, Dahlia and Daphne. Probably the Dahlias, maybe Daphne. I don't know.
It's
I go
hard
back
to
and
say,
forth.
I
Yeah.
know.
And I would say third, I like Dino's.
Okay.
even though it's dark. I think it's really well done. I think he rendered it very well. So does anybody have anything else they want to say about anybody's, or?
I don't think so.
Well, I just think Jake's is great. I think he just did a great job. I don't know.
And you don't think you're partial at all?
No.
Well, thank you, Barb, for coming and giving us your completely unbiased opinion about this artwork. We appreciate it.
It was so much fun. Thanks,
Yeah,
you guys.
thank you. So that concludes this episode of The Outstanding Artist, and we really hope you enjoyed it and it was really funny and entertaining. So you guys can vote for your favorite artist, and this round someone will be eliminated. So you're just going to vote for your favorite painting and artist, and all the directions are in the description below this video.
Also keep in mind that you won't, we'll be announcing who is the winner and who was eliminated on the next episode, and even the artists aren't gonna know who won. We're gonna keep it concealed this time. So they're not gonna even know what the results are, and you're gonna see us tell them the results in the next episode.
So as you're voting, you're not gonna see who, what the results are either. So it's all gonna be anonymous.
So thanks for watching this episode of The Outstanding Artist, and we will see you next time when we find out who is one step closer to being the outstanding artist.
Hey everyone, so season 1 of The Outstanding Artist originally aired on a different platform in 2020. So all voting is done by now, but to celebrate the public release, we thought it'd be fun to do a public choice kind of vote. This vote won't impact the show, but it'll be super interesting to see how voting results now compare to when the show originally aired. So let's hear the results from episode 1. In first place was, once again, John Milan. He got 48% of the vote, so John dominated. But after that, things are interesting from what originally happened. This time, Daphne got second place with 13.3% of the vote. Jake and Constantino tied for third place with 10% of the vote. And this time, Dahlia came in fifth place with 8.9% of the vote. So she didn't lose this time, go Dahlia. And this time, Miranda came in sixth place with 6.7% of the vote. And Kate came in last place with 2.2% of the vote. So the votes were very different this time around. Who knows how that could have impacted the show? So make sure to vote for your favorite piece from this episode, and we'll see how the votes compare again next week.